Class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, 5th Chapter, Text number 1, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on October 20th, 1975, in Durban, South Africa.
Sri Rishabha Uvacha Nayang Deho Deho Bhajang Niloke Kastan Kaman Arhati Bidbhujang Je Tapo Divyam Putraka Jina Sattam Suddhet Jasmad Brahma Sukham Anantam. This is a verse, verse number 1, 5th canto, 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are publishing Srimad Bhagavatam, 12 cantos in 60 volumes, and this is the latest volume just received today. Therefore, I am taking advantage of this volume and reciting one verse. This is in connection with Rishabhadev's instruction to his sons. Rishabhadev was a king and he had 100 sons. Of all of them, the eldest was Maharaj Bharat, under whose name India is called Bharatvarsh, since the time of Maharaj Bharat. So, the instruction was being discussed amongst the royal family members. Formally, all Vedic instructions were discussed among the very topmost class of men. Jad jad acharati sreshtha lokastad anuvartate. That is the instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. If the higher level class of men accept something as truth, then the ordinary common man follows them. So, the problem of life is discussed here by Rishabhadev. He says, my dear boys, na ayanga deha dehu bhajang niloke kastan kaman arhati vidhujang. Ayanga means this body, this human form of body. It is also a body, and the dog's body is also a body, material body. It is also made of blood and bone and urine and stool and so many other things. The dog's body is also made the same ingredients. But what is the difference between dog's body and this human body? He advises, ayanga this human form of body, dehu bhajang niloke. And where this body is obtained, it is obtained in the human society. This intelligent brain and good form of body, it is to be found in the human society. In the human society, you'll find from this body big professors, big philosophers, scientists, mathematicians, and they are coming. Not from the dog society. That is not possible. Therefore, it should be properly utilized. Na ayanga deho deho bhajang niloke. Niloke means the inhuman society. So, how it should be utilized? He says, kastan kaman arhati narhate vidbhujangji. Kastan means very hard labor. Kastan. And kaman means necessities of life. We require the necessities of this body, that is required. We want to eat something, we must have a shelter to live, ahara nidra, bhaya, and we must defend from the enemies or from the attack of other living beings. Kastan, kaman, so we require all these things, but not very hard labor, working day and night. That is for the lower animal. Kastana kaman na arhati vidbhujang. As the animal is working very hard day and night for meeting their necessities of life, the human form of life is not meant for that purpose. This is the basic principle of this stuff. Another thing, this deha, this body, is meant for higher purposes, not for simply meeting the necessities of life. This is the basic principle of instruction. They have no other way. The cats and dogs and hogs, they are working day and night just to find out some stool and eat it. And as soon as the body is filled, then sense gratification, sex life, this is going on in the lower class of animal life. So does it mean that human life also will be utilized only for this purpose? No. That is his advice. This is not meant for wasting our time and living like the lower animals, cats and dogs and hogs. Then what it is meant for? He says, tapo dibbam. My dear sons, this body is meant for tapo, austerity. Austerity. What is that austerity? Dibbam, to realize God. That is the whole Vedic principle. That human body, human society should be trained intelligently in such a way that he can understand God. This is the goal of life. In the Vedanta Sutra, those who are philosophically advanced, they might have studied the Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra. So, the first aphorism of the Brahma Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now, this human form of life is there. We have got it by the material nature's grace. There are 8,400,000 different forms of life. Migration, transmigration or evolution, as you say. Jalaja navalakhani sthavara lakhavimsati kinvayo rudra sankaka pakshinam dasalakakam. In this way, there are aquatics, 900,000 different forms of life. And then from aquatics to plants and trees, 2 million forms. Then insects, different insects. 1,100,000. Then birds, 1 million different forms. Then bees, 3 million different forms. In this way, there are 800 millions. 8 millions. And human being, 400,000 species form there are. So out of that, the civilized man, the best form of human body, that is meant for this purpose. Tapo dibbam putraka jena suddheda satta. My dear boys, you should not waste your time simply for finding out the necessities of this body and work very hard day and night and forget your own business. What is that own business? Self-realization. What I am. This is called own business. Am I this body or something else. We can understand it that I am not this body. Because as soon as you leave this body, this spirit soul, it is nothing but lump of matter. That we can understand. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita lesson. To understand that I am not this body. If we live under the conception that I am this body, then the Shastra, Vedic literature condemns, then you are no better than the cats and dogs, because they also live under the bodily concept of life. And if you do not understand that you are not this body, you are spirit soul, and you are changing different forms of body for realization of the higher and the highest goal of life. That we should understand. That is called tapasya. So if we do not become very sober, tapodibbam, and then to become sober, dhira. Dhira tattva namayate. Dhira means sober. If we remain restless like animals, then we cannot achieve the goal of our life. We do not know how the laws of nature is working. We can experience how the laws of nature is working in our present life. Present life is just like a young man. If he thinks that I shall not become old man, I shall remain young man, will the nature's law allow it? No. You must become old man. There is no question of saying that I don't want to become old man. So no, nature's law will not allow it. You must become old man and suffer the old age's disadvantages. That you must. Similarly, if the old man says, never mind, I become old man, I will not die. No, nature's law you don't allow. You must die. Similarly, after that, if you think foolishly that there is no more life, that is also wrong. Nature's law is that you must accept another body. This is nature's law. So we are dependent on nature's law. However, foolishly we declare that we are independent, we don't care for anything, that will not stay. We are under the clutches of material nature's law. In this law, by evolutionary process, we have come to this human form of life, and if we don't utilize it properly, then we are missing the chance. So, our Krishna consciousness movement is reminding the whole human society that don't lose this chance of getting a human body. You must properly utilize it. And how it is to be utilized, that is stated here by Rishabde. Tapo dibbang putraka jina sattang suddhe. Sattang, our existence, is now polluted. Therefore, we are getting this material body and changing this material body. And as soon as we get a material body, then our miserable condition begins. In this material body, nobody can say that there is no miserable condition. It is full of miserable condition. There are three kinds of miserable conditions: adhyatmic, adhibhauti, adhigavivik. Adhyatmic means pertaining to the body and pertaining to the mind. There are so many miseries. Otherwise, the other day, Swami Pustakrishna was saying that in this country there is a maximum number of suicide. Is it not? So, why one commits suicide? Unless he feels bodily position very uncomfortable, mental condition very disturbing. So this is called adhyatmic, pertaining to the body and mind. There are many troubles. Every one of us, we have got that experience that there are troubles. I may be very rich, I may have immense wealth, but if my body and mind is not in order, I am in trouble. So simply material opulence, material wealth will not satisfy us. We require bodily comforts, and if I have got millions of dollars and if I am diseased man, I cannot enjoy. I cannot be in happiness. So these are one type of miserable condition. Similarly, there are other types of miserable condition as adhibhauti. I do not wish to create any misunderstanding with a friend, but automatically there is some misunderstanding between friends, neighbors, nation, man-to-man, business friend. There are troubles. So this is called and not only if not human being, but other lower animals, just like there are insects, there are cockroaches, there are so many other living bodies, they are giving us trouble. That is called adhibhauti. And adhidaivik. Adhidaivik is the nature's disturbance. So there are three kinds of miserable condition in this material world, and either of them or all of them, they are always troubling us. This is our position. We have to understand that we are suffering, that everyone knows. But by illusion, we think that this is not suffering, this is natural. No, it is not natural. Just like if you have got fever, it is disease. Don't think that it is natural. Why you should be suffering from all these troubles? That is not natural, that is unnatural. Because we are part and parcel of God. We living entities, we should be as happy as God is. That is our position. Satchidananda Vigraha. God is described, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. Sat Chit Ananda. This is three defined features of God's body. What is that? Sat. Sat means eternal. Sat. And Chit. Chit means knowledge, full of knowledge. And Ananda means full of bliss. There is Ananda. So this is God's body. And we are part and parcel of God. Just like gold and particle of gold. It may be very small particle, but one shall say it is gold. It is not anything else. Similarly, in quality we are same as God. Now we have got this body which is not eternal. God's body is eternal, and this body is not eternal. And Sat-Chit, God is full of knowledge, omniscient. But my body is full of ignorance. Why these universities are there? Because we do not know what is what. Therefore we are being educated. That means this body is not full of knowledge, it's full of ignorance. So, and again, God's body is blissful and our body is miserable. So, the aim should be how again we come to the original position like God, or the same type of body, blissful, full of knowledge and eternal. That is the aim of human life. Therefore, it is said, Tapodibbam. My dear son, don't become like cats and dogs and work hard for the bodily necessities of life. This human form of life is meant for austerity. Why austerity? Let us enjoy. No. Tapodibbam putraka jena sattam suddhe. If you accept the path of austerity, then your existence will be purified. Now at the present moment, the existence is not purified. Therefore we have to accept birth, death, old age and disease. This is not our business. But because we have got this material body, the nature's law, forces, to accept all these things. Birth, death, old age and disease. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosanu Darsana. We are trying to be happy, fighting with unhappiness, but we do not know our real unhappiness are that we have to die, we have to take birth again, we have to become diseased, and we have to accept old age. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosanu Darsana. This is intelligence. That I am trying to solve all the problems of life by advancement of civilization, education, scientific knowledge, and so many things. That's all right. But what is the solution of my these four principles of miserable condition? Birth, death, old age and disease. And because we cannot make any solution, we set aside these four problems. We go on with the temporary problems and become busy to solve it. And in this way, we waste our this valuable human form of life like the cats and dogs. This is the instruction. So we should not do that. We must be sober and we must. And it is not very difficult. The knowledge is there in the Vedic literature. Everyone can accept it. It is not a sectarian, so-called religious principle. It is scientific. Every human being should understand his position. See, every human being should not waste his valuable time. So therefore Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee and a great Vaishnava Acharya, he has sung a nice song, Hari Hari Bifale Janama Goain. My dear Lord, I got this chance of human form of body, and unfortunately I have wasted my time without any self-realization. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Goain. Manusya Janama Paiya Radha Krishna Nabhaji. He got this very valuable form of life, human form of life. But instead of understanding what is God, Radha Janiya Suniya Bisha knowingly I have drunk poison. This is the opportunity to understand God and make solution of all different types of births and deaths and transmigration from one body to another. And as soon as I get a material body, immediately there are so many miserable conditions. But I am a spirit soul, part and parcel of God. I have nothing to do with all these things, but I have been forced to be working with these problems of life. This is human intelligence. Therefore, he requires to live a saintly life. It is not possible, of course, that everyone should become saintly. That is not possible. Therefore, in the Vedic civilization, it is prescribed Varnasam Dharma. Varnasam Dharma. Varna means four classification of the society. And asrama means four division of spiritual life. The society, it is not meant for any particular nation or particular community. It is meant for the whole human society. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagas. The human society should be divided into four groups. What is that? The first class man. There are first class, second class, third class, fourth class men. We have got an experience. Not that everyone is equally intelligent. No, there is difference of classification or intelligence or genuineness. There are so many things. The division. So here also you have got division in classification. That is natural. So first class men mean they should be trained as Brahma. At least one class of men. Chaturvarnam maya system. In order to realize the highest goal of life, there must be division in the society and there must be division in spiritual life. The social life is divided into Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana means the most intelligent class of men. One who can understand God. That is Brahmana. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. First class man means not first class dress. First class man means he has got full knowledge. Jnanam vijnanam astikam brahma karma sabhava. Full knowledge. He knows what is God. That is first class man. So the second class man means the Kshatriyas, the administrators. The administrator class of men, because government men, they must be very sober to rule over the citizens. There are varieties of men and to regulate them so that the state may go on very peacefully. So this is dependent on the Kshatriyas, and they must be prepared to fight to the enemies. Everything is described in the Shastra and the Bhagavad Gita. Teja surjam, juddhi cha palayanam. The administrators should be so brave that whenever there is a war, they must first of all come forward to fight, so that soldiers and others may follow him. So they are second-class men, and they should be instructed by the first-class men. Then their activities will be nice. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Vaishya means the productive class of men. Their business is how to produce food for all the society and give protection to the cows. Kisi go raksha vanijam vaishya karma sabhavas. There must be sufficient milk in the human society. If you drink more milk and milk products, then your brain will be very sharp and you will understand things very nicely, correctly. Therefore milk is very important. In the Vedic Shastra, cow protection is recommended. Why? Because the milk is very, very important thing. Milk is there. What about the meat eaters? If there are meat eaters, they can eat other animals. But especially, they should not eat the cow. They should give them protection. So, because the Vaishyas, the first class, second class, third class, they are meant for producing food for the society. The milk is very important, therefore it is recommended, Krishi Goraksha Vanijam. And if there is excess, they can trade. And this is the first class, second class, third class. And those who cannot act as first class men, or a second class man, or third class man, that means fourth class man, they are called laborer or worker class of men. So, it is not that because one person is belonging to the worker class and another person is becoming the first class, there is differentiation. No, everyone is important. Just like in this body, the head is very important, that is a fact. If the head is cut off, then whole body is finished. But that does not mean that head is simply required without leg. The leg is also required. The hand is also required. The belly is also required. Similarly, the first class man, the second class man, the third class man and the fourth class man, all of them are required, provided they are adjusted for the higher aim of life. The higher aim of life, the brain. The brain means, the first class brain means to realize self, to understand God and do accordingly. This is required. This is called Varnashram Dharma. So unless one takes to the Varnashram Dharma as they prescribe, it is not human society. It is cats and dog society. And you cannot be happy however you may adjust in a society which is filled up with cats and dogs. That is not possible. So this Vedic instruction, it is not meant for any particular person, any community or any country. It is meant for everyone. So we should take advantage. We are therefore publishing in English so many books so that people may understand. English language is spoken practically all over the world. We are selling also. These books are being appreciated by the professors in university and highly learned circles. and common man also. So, and I am lecturing for say half an hour or 45 minutes. It is not possible to explain all the Vedic intelligence, but we are distributing this book. I request you to read all these books as far as possible and take advantage of it. Because we require, as it is advised by Rishabhdev to his sons, Tapo Dibbanga Putraka. Putraka means my dear boys. You do not spoil your life simply for meeting the necessities of this body very hardly, like cats and dogs. It is not required. The real business is to realize yourself. That is Tapo Dibbanga, for which. And actually we do not require very much to work for meeting the necessities of life. Because from the Shastras we can understand that our necessities of life are already there. There. Tasyaiva heta prajateta kovida. The Shastra says, don't bother yourself about the necessities of life. This is already there, settled. You will get it. They depend on the supplier of the necessities of life. The supplier of necessities life is God. That is the description in the Vedic literature. Therefore, we see practically that Christians, they go to church and they request God, God, Father, give us our daily bread. Actually it is supplied by Him. So there are 8,400,000 different forms of life, and God is the creator of them, and He is supplying all the necessities of them. We human beings, we have got different enterprises, but what the enterprises have got the elephant in Africa. There are millions of elephants. Who is feeding them? And the ant also. There are trillions and millions of ants in your room. Who is feeding them? So, we do not believe in God. That is our defect. Otherwise, if God is providing food for the lower animals, why not for us if we become God conscious? So there is no reason. We shall get. But we have been habituated for economic development. Let us do it. It doesn't matter. But don't forget God. That is Lord. If you forget God, then you are no better than dog. This is the movement of Krishna consciousness movement, that we are reminding everyone that don't remain like lower animals. You have got this opportunity of human life. You go, accept little austerity. So what we are prescribing? Austerity. Just like these European American boys, they are under training. Our first business is to take declaration that the devotee will not indulge in illicit sex life, not meat eating, no intoxication, and no gambling. This is austerity. And chant Hare Krishna. It is very easy. It is not very difficult. Just like these boys, girls, they are chanting Hare Krishna. And they are undergoing the austerity. So they have not died. Not they are unhealthy. You can see. They are living. And they will live. But they have become purified. Tapodibbang jena sattang shuddhe. This is purifying our existence. Purifying existence means no more material body. Tatta dehang punarjanma naiti, mameti kauntya. These are the information we get. That if we purify our existence, our existential position, then the result will be the tatta deham. We have to give up this body. The cats and dogs also will give up, and I will also give up. That's a fact. But the cats and dogs, they will get another material body. But if you purify your existential position, then tatta deham punarjanmaiti. You will not to have accept any more material body. you shall stay in your spiritual body. And when you stay in your spiritual body, you become equal with God. Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, Ananda, blissful and full of knowledge. That is the human form of aim of human mission. Don't miss this. There is ample information. The practice is very easy. Anyone can do it. So our only request is, take advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement. Try to understand it properly. It is not meant for any particular person, nation or community. It is for every human being. So we request you to study this movement and take to it seriously. Then you will be all happy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Good morning, guys. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. I refer to the 10th discourse in the Bhagavad Gita, verse 20. Lord Krishna says, I am the self, I am the beginning, the end, the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Now here he goes to say, on the same discourse, in verse 32, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. What does he exactly mean by creation and all beings? Does he mean the universe as a whole?
Yes. Creation means this material world. There are two worlds, material world and spiritual world. Spiritual world is eternal and material world is created. We can experience anything material is created, it is maintained for some time, then it is annihilated. Nothing remains forever. So when creation means this material world, not this spiritual world. So when Krishna says, Aham adirhi devana, aham sarvasya prabhava, that means God is not within this material world, created being. He is the creator. So, creator was there in the beginning, and then the created material world was in existence, or is in existence. Therefore, God is not one of these created things. He is beyond created. He is transcendental. If we accept God is also one of the created beings, that is our mistake. Because if God created this material world, He was existing before the creation. Therefore He is not one of the product of this creation. Therefore He is Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. Creator means He must have full knowledge. How God creates this material world, that is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadasya jataha annaya itaratascha artheshu abhigya sarat. This creator is well conversant directly and indirectly. Every details of the universe. Just like we are trying to study how this material world is going on, how the big planets are floating in the air. We cannot understand properly. There are so many scientists, but they do not understand what are these. There are innumerable universes. This is only one universe. So he must have full knowledge how he is maintaining this material world. Therefore he is called Abhigya. He is not dull-headed. He has got full knowledge. That is God. Omniscient. He has got full knowledge. We may not have, because we are very teeny. A child may not have knowledge, but the father knows everything. Similarly, he is the Supreme Father. He knows everything. He has got full knowledge. Annayat itaratascha artheshu. There are things, indirect and direct. In both ways, he is abhigya. he is well aware, everything. Then the next question is Sarat. Sarat, because we are thinking in our own way of life that if God has got so much knowledge, where from He got it? Because we have got experience that whenever we require knowledge, we go to a superior person and take knowledge from him. Then where from God has got so much knowledge? Therefore the answer is Sarat. Sarat means he is fully independent. He is not dependent for knowledge to anyone else. So these things are there, we have to study very nicely. So your question about the creation, maintenance and annihilation, it is being done by the Supreme Lord. The material world is, our body is also like that. It is created at a certain date, it exists for a certain time, and it is annihilated. This is being done by God. This is the law of nature. Nature means an instrument in the hands of God. Maya adhyakshayana prakriti sriyati sacharacharam. This is the information. Don't think that material nature is working automatically. No, this is not possible. Behind this material nature, the big machine, there is the operator, God. That you should understand. This is meditation. If you become sober and think of everything, that is meditation. Meditation means the subject matter must be very sober, and you think over and find out the solution. That is meditation.